Hey, good morning. It's Patricia Murphy. It's Friday. This is Seattle Now. It's been another week of trying to coexist with the Delta variant. King County is ramping up a vaccine verification system. The Mariners are doing surprisingly well. And you may have noticed the spiders are here. Hannah Weinberger of Crosscut and TBTL's Andrew Walsh are here to break it all down. But first, let's get you caught up. Vaxxed or not, a statewide mask mandate is back for outdoor gatherings with more than 500 people. Governor Inslee made the announcement yesterday, though it's already in effect in King and Pierce counties. Starting Monday, everyone over age 5 needs to mask up at big events like outdoor rodeos, concerts, or sports. Take this seriously. State health officials say there have been 5 recent outdoor events that have been super spreaders. Employees at Microsoft and partner company LinkedIn will be working from home for the foreseeable future. Microsoft offices were supposed to be fully reopened in October, but yesterday the company postponed employees' return indefinitely. The Delta situation is just too unpredictable. CEO Satya Nadella says data will determine when people return to the office. And a quick traffic note for the weekend. Plan ahead. Lots of closures going on around the city. Southbound 5 between I-90 and Spokane Street will be narrowed down to make room for road work. The I-5 express lanes will be totally closed for repairs. The Montlake Bridge also closed to cars. To top it off, the Sounders and the Mariners are both playing at home. Oh boy, it's Friday again. The kids are back in school. Some of us are starting to return to work. Football started this week. It all feels a bit surreal, I think. Hannah Weinberger is here. She reports on the environment for Crosscut. Hey, Hannah.
Hello, Trish.
It seems like the rule is to mask up and go right now. Hopefully vaxxed. How are you feeling about that?
I think that my mask is going to be staying on for quite a while, so it's time to start updating my face underwear wardrobe. I need some new ones.
Time to get the fall look going again.
Exactly.
Andrew Walsh is here. He's the co-host of TBTL. That's Too Beautiful to Live, a great podcast, in case you don't know that yet. Hey, Andrew.
Hello. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, so this is the new normal we've been talking about. How are you doing here?
I'm all right. I went mask shopping the other day. You know, I started off with like 3 of them at one point, and then I kind of lost them over the months, and then I was down to 1, and I'm like, I think this one will get me to the finish line.
No!
And it turns out it will not. It will not. I had to go back to the store.
Seriously, Andrew, I was looking at my mask stash thinking, we're going to be good. I'm going to get one for my kid for going back to school. You know, it's going to be... Nope, I just invested an unreasonable amount of money in new masks.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I don't want to jump ahead to the topics too quickly, but I literally said to my partner Genevieve at one point, boy, I never had to show my Vax card, and it looks like we're out of this now. I guess that will never happen. That was 2 months ago?
I can't stop laughing. Yes, that is so true. King County is working on a vaccine verification system as we speak. You know, I guess, Hannah, it might help front-end workers a little bit because they have been handling the vaccine verification at this point for the most part, and that has to be like the least fun job on the planet.
Yeah, I think about it every time that you think about like what happens at TSA where they ask you to take your mask down. Like, you're really getting FaceTime with a lot of people in those situations. So if somebody already has their vaccination information in a way that you can just swipe it, that's fantastic. But, you know, how dare technologists come up with something so convenient when I already have invested 50 cents into a vaccine card sleeve?
Totally. Yeah, and I wonder what's driving this, honestly, because more and more businesses are requiring vaccines to enter into their facilities. Sports teams are drawing the line now. You can't get into a Kraken game when they start playing. So I wonder if it's businesses driving the county's solution or the county trying to put pressure on businesses to make things more efficient.
And you mentioned before the people who have to check these things. I often think about the people who are just, running a bar or a restaurant or any kind of business like that. There's already so much pressure on them, like from all sides during this pandemic, like the lack of a customer base because of the pandemic. The supply chains are all disrupted. The fact that they had to open and close several times unexpectedly. They're just up against so much. And now you're saying now we need somebody who is going to act like an almost a sort of bouncer to check an ID and then a Vax card, which for some reason doesn't fit in my wallet. And now they're going to have to check it back and forth. I do feel bad putting those people in that position to have to check it. So at least I think the technological solution here by having the app is a good idea. It takes some of the pressure off there, but also I don't want to totally dismiss if there are people who literally have real privacy concerns. They're not just bringing it up to be difficult, like so many of these other arguments are. Or if you're somebody who isn't good with technology, or if you're somebody who can't afford a smartphone, like they should still, as I believe they will, accept the original cards that you get when you get vaccinated. I don't want to totally dismiss that.
Yeah, and a lot of places will take a picture, so you don't even have to carry the actual card, which I wouldn't let my teenager do when he had to use his vaccine status to get into the convention center. He said, "No, I got to take the card." I said, "You're not taking the card." Honey, please. Okay. Well, what else is going on here? Mariners actually have a shot at the playoffs. They had a big win this week against the Astros. I'm turning to you, Andrew, because apparently the Mariners have had a good run lately. Are you hopeful here?
See, this is an interesting line for a Mariners fan to walk because you can't give yourself totally over to hope. Like, you just can't. Like, we've built up these calluses because we know we're going to get hurt, right? And also, the Mariners' chances this season, it's still, I would say, improbable. They have gotten as close to the playoffs as I can remember in my maybe 15 years of fanhood, and it is it's an exhilarating feeling. However, I'm not placing any bets on it, and I'm not putting those expectations on the team because I'm not going to get hurt this year. Next year is supposed to really be the year. Next year is supposed to be the year where Jerry DiPoto, the GM's plan. I know that sounds cliche, but I've been drinking the Kool-Aid, and I do believe that they have been setting up this plan, including working on a farm system and getting young players in here, and they're supposed to actually spend the final dollars next year that will get us over the top and into the playoffs. Having said that, this year has been unexpectedly fun. I cannot remember being this close. I'm watching every single game. I'm constantly watching the scoreboard across the league. So I don't know. I say it's a good time to be a Mariners fan.
Matt Calkins from the Seattle Times says the team has an unusual resolve at this point.
I would agree with that, and they're very fun to watch. I mean, they will go way down in games and then come back almost miraculously. It's been a roller coaster of a year as far as decisions that management made. Of course, if you'll recall, the beginning of the season began with some untoward comments by the team president that was front of it was a small group that I'm blanking on right now, but then it kind of leaked. And so there have been some really low lows and some pretty high highs, both within games and then also just kind of across the season, but they are really fun to watch. Yes, they will come back, they will surprise you, and they are resilient.
Hannah, you're not jumping in here.
I haven't followed the Mariners since Randy Johnson was on the team, so I'm probably not your top Mariners correspondent here, but I did think it was interesting that they made the choice when so many other professional sports and even college sports teams are mandating vaccination cards, that they wouldn't start implementing vaccination requirements until, like the playoffs. So, like, does that mean that they're not gonna have vaccine requirements, or do we think that's like is that another way to say this, or are they actually gonna go that far?
In the words of a famous television child, how rude. But also how accurate.
Yeah. I get up pretty early and I looked out the window and I realized the light is changing, which can only mean one thing. Summer's on its way out and it is spider season, you two. I can see the webs through my pine trees. They're all out there. They're looking to mate, Hannah.
You know, it's better than thinking of it as wildfire peak season. So when you said spider season, I'm like, oh, you mean free temporary public art and pest management season? Like, let's spin this.
I like the cut of your jib, Hannah.
I love spiders and spider webs, and our two popular fall species of spiders, which are the European orb web spider and giant house spider. They're really super pretty and cool. The European orb weaver is also called a diadem spider because it looks kind of like a decorative crown. So that sounds cooler. Maybe you'll look at them and be like, oh, maybe I like them better. But like these insects are extremely relatable, right? Like they're out and active right now. The reason it is spider season is because it is almost cuffing season and they're just trying to find their person without leaving the house. So like you're not supposed to take your giant house spider and put them outside, just like put them in the garage. And the anthropomorphizing and personification stops there for me, I think, because like the females eat the males after they mate and they both spend a lot of time eating insects we consider pests and they don't pay rent. So that's where my head goes when I think about spiders. I look forward to seeing their artistic creations on my walks.
I love the webs. I really love to watch the webs. And I like to watch the females, I'm assuming, because they're the only ones left after the mating, go from, eraser-sized to nickel-sized in the couple of, months. So that's fun. Andrew, trapper or killer? What do you do?
Yeah, I want you to know that I spent a lot of time contemplating coming on the show and straight up lying to you and saying that, yes, I'm the type of person when I see a spider in my house that I will put it in a cup and take it outside. It's public radio. Let's not spread disinformation. That's not what I do. Not at all. I have something called a cordless vacuum cleaner. I know. Man. I am sorry, Hannah. I can see your face right now. You're so disappointed in me. But that is my, let's call it a spider containment unit, because I was reading this article in the Seattle PI, and they were quoting the spider expert. That's probably not really his name, but the spider expert at the Burke Museum, and he was saying that even if you do the trap the spider and then put it outside, you're still basically giving them a death sentence. You have to keep them someplace warmer, like possibly, as Hannah said, your garage. I don't have a garage, so
or your vacuum.
Or yes. And then the Burke fella said, so really the best thing you can do is just wave to them as they walk by you in your living room, to which I say, nah, dog. That's just not happening. I'm sorry. So now I feel not so bad putting them in the spider containment unit, a.k.a. my vacuum.
Oh, that's good.
Just have like a room dedicated to vacuums. They each get their own little, micro apartment.
Yeah, that is true. Yes, I like that. I
don't know. I can't begrudge people's personal relationships with insects. I look at it like, oh, you might have to invest in a little bit more mosquito control this season. But I'm also the type of person who, despite being stung by like 1,000 hornets this year, I still trap them when I find them in the house and set them free. So maybe I'm a pushover.
I try to scoot them out with a broom. We're leaving it there for today. Thanks so much to our guests, Hannah Weinberger. She reports on the environment for Crosscut, and Andrew Walsh, co-host of TBTL. Thanks, you two.
Thanks, Trish.
Thank you.
That's all for today. If you enjoyed the show, tell a friend about us. Very easy to share an episode. You can do it right from your phone. Caroline Chamberlain Gomez produced today's show. Our production team is Clare McGrane, Jenny Cecil Moore, Diana Opong, and Jason Pagano. Matt Jorgensen does our theme music. I'm Patricia Murphy. Have a good weekend.